Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Disjunct Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Sup, it is good to see you, Mr. Charlie, here in the digital interface that is a computer screen where it may or may not actually be us. It could just be a fake avatar.
It is the zeros and ones, ladies and gentlemen. This, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a show for you where we try our best to cover the topics that you submit to us. If you haven't submitted a topic yet, have no fear. All you got to do is drop it in the chat, either on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. Or, of course, if you're watching this recorded or listening to this recorded, you could always drop your question on any of our social media platforms. And, oh, by the way, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the Pliff Connor himself, Zealeus.
You are indeed a host, are you not?
I sure hope so at this point. So let's get into the stories, the news that's most important to everyone. And this one, of course, hits a little too close to home for Zealeus, and that's why we're going to bring it up first. And that is, there is information about Overwatch 2 beta being launched in April, but there will not be PvE in that beta.
Which is like the whole point of Overwatch 2 is supposed to be the newfound PvE newfangled magic.
Yep. This closed beta will exclusively feature PvP.
Well, I mean, at least there's something in the flesh or on your keyboard and mouse, I guess it is, happening. And it's not just vaporware as we know it. I mean, in a way, Overwatch is currently as it is, obviously, is a PvP first game. So I'd imagine fundamentally from a development perspective, it's probably easiest to actually do the PvP part first because they already have that part kind of built. I'm kind of curious because it's gone through so much change, right? We haven't really heard a whole lot about the PvE portion lately. So is that still what's going to happen in Overwatch 2 when it first launches? Is that still going to be a core part of the Overwatch 2 experience is going to be the PvE element? And furthermore, is it still going to be where Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1 will be able to play together? Because that was part of the original Jeff Kaplan promise, was that Overwatch 2 will basically almost be like an add-on where you get like more cool stuff like the PvE and other things. But on the PvP side, the 1 and 2s will still be able to play together.
So for those out there who don't know, of course, one of the big changes for the PvP aspect of Overwatch 2 is the fact that it is going down to 5-on-5 from 6-on-6. Now,
which is a major fundamental change from how everything plays in the OG Overwatch.
Right. Now, Blizzard has come out and said, we are changing our release strategy by decoupling Overwatch 2's PvP and PvE experiences from one another to get new PvP content into your hands sooner. Decoupling is a very, very scary word for anybody who's looking for multiple gaming modes.
Yes, decoupling reads to me like we're rethinking this whole thing and how it's going to work.
When we actually have something that will work, maybe just maybe, we'll recouple the PvE aspect of Overwatch 2. But look, they're making some changes, and I mean, at least they're going to give you a certain number of individuals who are going to be participating in this closed beta a look at the new Overwatch 2. But what is okay? One of the big promises, of course, PvE. But what else is going to be in Overwatch 2 that's going to make people hopefully potentially come back? Could maybe kind of revive the Pro League? Yes, I understand the Pro League's still there, but I mean, after all these owners drop like $36 million, it looks stale. I mean, it got stale fast.
Well, once they stopped basically releasing new competitive maps. Well, the ones we released were kind of terrible, actually, and new characters all together. Yeah, that kind of put a pause on it until Overwatch 2 is supposedly coming out in the next 2023-ish. So yeah. And furthermore, will those franchises kind of carry over to the Overwatch 2? I mean, is that all transferable
Oh,
basically?
I would assume that
I would
if
assume.
you would that they would push this into the pro leagues. Now, actually, that's a very good question because of the fact that Overwatch is currently 6-on-6. So the team build, the rosters, you're going to be losing a spot. So what does that say to the rosters? I mean, my immediate reaction is it sounds like you have this real fun like traveling show, but in order to keep it cost effective, they're downsizing it. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Protomen. However, on a plus note, Protomen are coming to Atlanta this Saturday at 8:00 at the Loft, which of course is part of Center Stage. So if you're in Atlanta, definitely check it out. You get a savings of 16.6% from your roster cost. Maybe, I don't.
Speaking of Perman, did you see that their opening band is no longer coming?
Yes, they have the vid.
Yep.
And so they're also pausing their European tour as well for a year. So sad day. But anyways, so I mean, you would assume that that you would want to keep content fresh, and when Overwatch 2 officially comes out, I would assume that Overwatch Pro League would then roll over into the Overwatch 2 format.
Well, I mean, one of the big promises was originally you keep your Overwatch 1 stuff basically. So like think about like all of your character skins.
Right.
And all of their emojis, or not emojis, all of their voice lines and all those things that people spent a pretty good chunk of money on potentially.
Well, it's not like they're changing up all the characters. That I would assume. I mean, that would make sense that you would be able to carry over the skins and the personalized.
It makes sense, but is that going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, if it was 10 years ago with the OG Blizzard, I would say yes. But now we've seen the Activision way of doing things, and now you're seeing the decoupling of PvE. I'm much more skeptical of anything that's going to be basically good for the consumer in regards to the decisions going forward on the Overwatch front.
So just for those wondering, in this beta, which is happening in late April, it's of course be 5v5. There's going to be a new hero, Sojourn. You have 4 new maps. You have so you have 2 push maps, a hybrid map, and an escort map. And then you're getting some heroes reworked. And there's a new mode called push. So me telling you there's 2 new push maps apparently doesn't mean Jack Diddley.
It's going to be super exciting.
Oh my God. Can't wait. Maybe I can. Actually, I haven't played Overwatch 1, so I don't know. All right. So, we talked about this story last week, and I do want to give an update as of the show. Brandon Sanderson's now KickStarter record-breaking Kickstarter event is at over 27 million, which of course is now the new record, and they still have 20 days to go. Zealeus, have you jumped in?
I still have 20 days to decide. Have you?
No, I have not. To be honest with you, I've been swamped at work, so I haven't actually had a chance to look.
Gotcha. I mean, if I do it, it would be the $160 bundle for the books because I don't do ebooks.
Yes.
So like if they had like a cheaper like paperback version book, maybe say like in the $60 to $80 range, I would jump right in. I'd be like,
Oh,
all right,
pish
we'll do it.
posh, dude. Come on. Go on the deep end, dude. Not paperback.
That's all I
Pshaw.
own are paper. I don't like hardback books, man. I like that
Why?
because they're heavier, they bendy, they're not as flexible, they're not as
They're
portable.
they are more durable.
What do you do to your books? Like, do you fight dragons with them?
No, seriously. I've let a couple people like borrow some of my books, and they've returned. Maybe they bend them too much while they read, but like the cover's falling off, it's fallen in half.
Well, considering the last 3 books I've lent out, I never got back. I've kind of given up on that.
Yeah, I don't really lend out a lot of stuff anymore.
Yeah,
Because if it's a video game, they turn around and sell. You go, oh shit, that's right, it was yours, not mine. My bad. Well, can I get the money from it? Oh no, I already spent it.
That's kind of douchey.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so I honestly, I will probably get it in the end. Not gonna lie. I would, yeah, I'll probably get it in the end. I'm leaning towards getting it, but I'm still holding out. Maybe I'm gonna wait to be the $30 million that's spent.
Best of luck to you, sir.
I'm just gonna have it refresh and they'll get instead of 999s. I'm just ready to buy it at that so I can be the magic person.
You know, there's someone else out there who's sitting there just like you are, and they're going to try to rain on your parade, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to win this parade, and it's going to be all about me.
Well, there you go. All right, so.
Have you actually read Brandon Sanderson?
I think so. I think I've read some of his books. I'm pretty sure.
That's his biggest one.
The what?
The Mistborn series?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read that one, and I've read. Dang it! Now you're gonna make me look it up. I've read a couple of his. I'm pretty sure I've read a couple of his. Now you're making me second guess myself. Thanks a lot, Zealeus.
I try to make people third guess themselves.
Bastard. Let's see what I got here.
The other big ones are the Way of the King, Something of the Kings, and then the Laws of Allomancy. Are other 2 big series of his.
Let's see here. God, this freaking Wikipedia page is just all over the place. Wait, what's this one? Because I'm pretty sure.
The Way of the Kings is a big series of his, and then the Laws of Allomancy. So those are probably.
I've definitely done Ways of the King.
Okay.
But I feel like I've read other books by him, but I can't remember. But they are now, off the top of my head.
It's very possible.
So, wait. Steelheart? Oh, yeah, I read that one too. Yeah. The one about the superheroes.
Superheroes.
Yeah, the Reckoners. That's a good series too. But I digress. All right, so the unfortunately, there's still crazy people ruling the world, and so bad shits continue to happen. And now Sony has also thrown their weight into the arena, and Sony has officially halted sales of PlayStation products, including PlayStation 5s and Gran Turismo 7 in Russia, following the continuing war in Ukraine. So they have joined the likes of companies such as Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, and EA. They have made a company-wide statement that said Sony Interactive Entertainment joins the global community in calling for peace in Ukraine. We have suspended all software and hardware shipments, the launch of Gran Turismo 7, and operations of the PlayStation Store in Russia. They will also be donating $2 million to United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and Save the Children to support the victims of this tragedy.
They're actually putting some money where they're kind of supposed mouth is.
Yes. Also, cool side note, For those who don't know, because of all the people who are fleeing from Ukraine, a bunch of Polish cities that are along the train line have come together and have been leaving baby strollers, so that when the Ukrainians are when they're fleeing, they have something to carry their babies in, which is pretty damn cool.
I've seen a lot of the bands that I listen to because they're European. They've been doing promotional sales these couple of weeks where all proceeds go to some kind of Ukrainian fundraiser.
Yeah.
But it's probably because those have very large, as are European, Ukrainian fan bases, or they've probably played in Ukraine at some point also.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's really freaking awesome. I don't know what it's going to take for the violence to stop, but it's nice to see more and more, global companies going, we're going to stop allowing you to benefit from our products. Although, once again, I feel like Russia, especially their leader, is kind of like that nutty, like, I'm sorry, but this is stereotypically correct, that nutty, like, deep South uncle who's convinced that the government's out to get him, so he's buried all his money in mason jars in his backyard. So
I mean, most of these sanctions, they're really affecting the citizens of
right.
Russia. Like,
but unfortunately,
like you and me,
Putin doesn't listen to anybody. So I mean,
nope.
you going after the. I understand, like Zealeus and I stated, I think it was like 2 episodes ago. FIFA and the Olympic Committee going down saying basically there's not going to be any Russian or Belarusian international teams or participants until this shit gets resolved, which, of course, those 2 organizations are the most corrupt organizations in the world.
They're calling you out. You're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Sam, you're absolutely right. Putin wants the USSR back.
Now then, we're now banning the oil from Russia in the U.S. at least.
And our state has just signed a bill to drop the gas tax for.
I did see that, yeah.
So, huzzah! Okay, so changing gears to another Sony product or a game that's been exclusively on Sony platforms. That, of course, is being God of War. There has been a big announcement saying that Amazon Prime is in the process of working with Sony Picture Television and PlayStation Productions to create a TV series based off of the God of War series. Or one of the, I mean, technically it's the entire series, but I'm sure that they're probably honing in on a specific number, but I don't know which one it is. Now, Zealeus had some issues with that, seeing as that they're going for a live action adaptation.
I just kind of feel like some forms of entertainment might be better left not necessarily being of live action. And I think that recently some of the really good animes we've seen, like from Dota, we've seen the ones from Dragon Dogma, we've seen the one from League of Legends, were really good. They didn't need to be live action. They did a phenomenal job. To me, something like God of War could have some wicked kick-ass anime. And I just don't see the need for it to be live action. And it's in large case can be predicated on who the frick is Kratos.
True.
What?
I said true, because that could make or break the product.
Oh, well, I mean, it's obviously there's other characters who go into it, but like
he's the main guy.
Yeah, if you don't have somebody who's basically like an over juiced beefcake, it's not going to be believable. I don't know who that is. Batista would be believable. Rock would be believable. They're sure as hell getting the Rock for this. He's doing
I don't think they would get Batista either.
I think Batista is not big enough in Hollywood. And think about it, big Hollywood people are doing TV shows.
Yes.
It's not like it used to be, where it's like, oh, I don't do TV shows because I do Hollywood. I mean, you see a lot of people who are actually good actors or making money in Hollywood get paid big chunks of money to do TV series. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the big question. Who are they going to get who can do him and be both A, be able to act, and B, be believable as the God of War.
Okay, so Sam Grizzle said, not a movie buff, but which animated movies aren't rated G? My friend, there are a shit ton of not G-rated animated films. I own quite a few. Well, the thing is, I own a lot of like foreign, other than Felix the Cat. Let's see, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Blue Skies. For those who probably aren't that into anime, there was that one with was it Brad Pitt? Cool World. Let's be honest. Who Framed Roger Rabbit would probably be PG-13 in this day and age. Though that is a mix of both those two. The last two I did was a mix of live action and animated. But here's the thing. Thankfully, because I think partially or the majority of it being because of foreign influence, people are maybe now starting to see that animation isn't always just for kids. I mean, shit, like how long has South Park been on? I mean, yes, technically it started off as stop animation with like paper cutouts or whatever. But that's not animated. Or The Simpsons, that's definitely not G-rated. But that's a TV show. If we were talking movies, well, I mean, The Simpsons movie. Boom. There you go. I don't know. Zealeus?
What was the question?
Oh, my Lord. Sam asked which animated films aren't rated G.
I didn't know if that was still the question or if I was supposed to go off what you're saying.
No, I was just naming a bunch of animated films that were not G-rated.
I mean, all the ones I mentioned on Netflix, those are not rated G at all.
Right. I think that I don't know.
Anything Netflix has been doing is not rated G.
Yeah. No, it's the vast majority of the stuff that Netflix has been putting out is not only is it not kid friendly, but there is a ton of animated stuff coming out as well. Although the new He-Man show already released the second season, which I still have 4 episodes to catch up in the first season because my sons decided to watch it without me.
I could see some of the actors from Spartacus. I don't know if you ever watched Spartacus, the TV show.
Didn't one of them die? Didn't the main guy die?
The main guy died, yes. But there were some good actors who were big and buff. Like Manu Bennett was one of them who I don't know if they'd be too old for it now, to be honest, because I mean, we're talking a number of years ago.
Right.
So they might be a little bit past their prime now. But there were a couple of guys on there who at the time probably could have played the role, but that might have been past.
So
Gerald Butler in his days of Spartacus. Or not Spartacus, no, wait. I had a total brain fart. Yeah, from 300.
Oh, I don't remember what he was.
Not Spartacus. That's one I just mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, King Leonidas.
There you go. He's way too old for credits.
No, not now. No.
But just so, for those out there who want to know, the creators and executive producers behind The Expanse, as well as the Wheel of Time executive producer and showrunner, are said to be involved in this project. So it's not like, you know, they're not getting, that's the other thing, is they're getting big name, successful, you know, showrunners and producers to be part of these ambitious projects.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a show that I'll definitely keep my eyes on. Because a show like that is something I'd probably really enjoy.
Are you
I mean,
saying that you might actually watch it if, instead of waiting for the entire thing to come out before watching it?
well, honestly, I know you joke, but if it's on Netflix or Amazon, then yes. Like my goal is basically have those two. So if something does come out in like a first season and it's there, I'm probably gonna give in to temptation and watch it. But if it's like on Hulu or Disney Plus, I'm waiting like a decade to get those.
Yes, yes. Of
Which I
course,
know is crazy play it.
ladies and gentlemen, just in case you're wondering, I am poking fun at Zealeus because Zealeus is notorious for not wanting to buy into a series until it's either completed or he knows it's going to end, and so he can play the catch-up game. He doesn't want to have to watch one episode and then wait the week or whatever. He's
Oh, no, you gotta binge it, man. You gotta like
yeah, he
drink it
has to
straight
binge
into
it.
your veins.
But the thing is, it's not like if the show's supposed to be like 6 seasons and there's only 2 seasons available, that's still not enough binging for Zealeus. He's got to wait till at least 4 or 5, and then he'll go in.
Pretty much, I still not seen Firefly because of that.
Okay, if you have not watched Firefly, this is game over, sir.
Just saying.
Oh
Sorry.
Lord, oh God, what's wrong with you? It's never coming back. I'm sorry.
I know. I know. I mean, I guess I could watch the movie in tandem, and that would count.
You.
Ironically, I'm pretty sure I've seen Serenity.
I don't even know what to say now, Zealeus. I'm out of words at this point.
I do have that effect on people.
Now, of course, as they are just, in the start stages of God of War, the TV show, I would not expect anything until late 2023 or probably 2024 before you see anything.
No, I would not expect anything anytime soon, for sure.
Now, speaking of TV shows, of course, the other announcement was that another PlayStation product, this one, Twisted Metal, that crazy, very violent car, kind of destruction derby type of game, is going to be made into a comedy show for the Peacock network. And Sweet Tooth will be played by Anthony Mackie. And I have so many questions. First of all, they're saying that it is going to be a live action comedy, from my understanding. It will be 30-minute episodes. And it will be, I think one of the showrunners, is actually, oh, shoot. I thought I saw, oh, crap. Now I can't remember the dude's name.
Now your brain has stopped working again.
Yeah, no, it's complete. The guy, Will Arnett, apparently is a name that's attached to it in like a producer role. Though I would be surprised if Will Arnett tries to weasel his way on there. He did do that Netflix Murderville series, which I'd be very interested to see if there's going to be a second season. It was majority of the episodes are funny. By the way, Murderville is basically Will Arnett and the cast have a script, and then they have a guest detective who has to ad-lib the entire thing and try to basically do a whodunit at the end of the episode. So they had Marshawn Lynch and Conan O'Brien and Ken Jeong and all those guys.
So I guess I'm curious, is every episode going to basically be like a battle of to the death, in a almost like death race?
So here's the funny thing. I think it's Twisted Metal 2. There's actually a story that's actually in Twisted Metal surrounding specific characters. So there is some sort of kind of post-apocalyptic, this is why we do shit and blow people up type of story. But it's not going to be just everybody get in their truck and try to shoot missiles at each other.
if we don't see every single episode people getting in their cars and launching missiles at each other, then it's false advertising.
Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll have to ask someone who subscribes to the Peacock network.
Yes, another network subscription service that I just don't even know exists.
Yeah, that's. I mean, technically, this is exactly what we wanted. Okay, you have all these different networks doing their exclusive stuff. We've always, as consumers, we've always wanted to have a la carte. Okay, which of course means pick as you go. Like basically choose what you want to watch. The unfortunate thing is, we also just want it all. Like, let me just have one service. Just give me Hulu, or give me YouTube TV, or give me whatever else is out there. Sling TV? Is that still a thing?
Yes. Well, my only thing is, like, I'm actually okay with how the streaming services are going.
Yeah.
With the exception of sports. That's the only one where, like, is that, like, you're going to do, like, the YouTube TV, or, like, actually, I'm going to exclude YouTube TV for a second, because you can do, like, the Netflixes, the Disney Pluses, the Peacocks, all those in, like, the $10 to $20 range. It's really getting to the live stuff, sports, basically, for, like, a YouTube TV, where it starts getting, like, big price premium increase.
You could thank Disney for that.
Yeah, no, I know it's for economic reasons, so I know it's not going away. I totally understand why it is the way it is. I just wish it wasn't that way, where I could, like, just get the sports as, like, its own $10 to $20 bundle and just do that, and I'd be happy.
How about this? Can I actually watch my local sports? I haven't been able to watch a Hawks game on TV in like 4 years, unless it's on TNT, because of the regional Fox Sports Network basically pissing contests they've had with everybody but, like, DirecTV and Comcast. They won't. They basically are making every other service, like, basically, they're giving them the double bird salute. Going, no.
You should just go back and get old school cable, sir.
No. Fuck no.
Trust me, football season's over, so I actually need to cancel YouTube TV.
I don't watch football. Well, I mean, I do watch football, but I also watch a shit ton of college basketball, which is why I have the ESPN Plus bundle, which actually I did the ESPN Plus with the Hulu with the Disney bundle.
Oh, nice. Yes, that will get you a lot of games, sir.
You would think, unless Fox Sports decides to take Fox Sports or Raycom Sports or wherever the fuck the other channel is for, like, the Georgia Tech football games and basketball games. That's also I think that's also regional Fox Sports as well. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. All right. Anyways, moving on, because I'm just gonna get pissed. But seriously, I mean, I don't have any problem with, all these different subscription services, though it is nice that you can have a subscription service 1 month and then drop it the next. You're not locked into a 2-year contract like the cable companies want you to be.
Well, like, I honestly don't miss when your subscription was up, you don't also have to, like, call, I'm canceling your service just to play the game of, like, oh, well, we give you this bundle instead. And for this, like, a lot of those gamesmanship things are, like, kind of a way of the past. I know you could still kind of do it with the internet service.
Yep.
But by and large, that was the big thing, was that cable bundle with your internet was, like, this game you would have to play. And sometimes you had to, like, get your phone service that you didn't actually use just to get the best bundle possible.
Yep. No. Yeah. And it's usually you get it. The bundle would usually, when you had to, like, work your magic and work the person over, you'd get like 2 months free of HBO or Stars or something.
I remember, like, every 6 months I would have to call Comcast or whoever it was at the time and be like, yes, I'm canceling. Yes, transferring to your retention hold specialist.
Yep. Yep.
Now we just need caps to work around.
Okay, so I was just looking up something here while we were chit chatting, and there was an on. I know I'm totally changing gears, but that's
Change
what I
the
do.
gear, man. We're going into high gear.
There was this huge dispute over a certain Twitch streamer, big name Twitch streamer, who got like permaban, and then there was like a lawsuit, and he lost a bunch of sponsors. Of course, I'm talking about Dr. Disrespect.
Oh yeah.
He has just come out and said that both parties have decided to just drop the suit. There is no resolution whatsoever. It's just they're both moving on from the legal dispute, which banned him back in 2020. Now, in a very interesting move, he did say that what was it? One of his New Year's resolutions was getting unbanned on Twitch in 2022.
That was his plan?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
I'm not. That's so interesting.
So you try to get banned, and then when you get banned, you get pissed off.
And of course, like at the bottom of the story that I just pulled up, it said Dr. Disrespect beats Elden Ring boss without taking a single hit. And here I am going, I'm throwing in the towel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm moving on from Elden Ring because I'm sorry. I don't know anybody who wants to watch me play after playing 18 hours. Yes, can I one-shot backstab kills basically the vast majority of the soldiers and wildlife in the beginning of the game? Yes. Is that any progress to the game? Fuck no, it's not. I went up against the boss, got spanked. Took 2 hours to try to build up enough stuff to try again, got spanked. I'm sorry, but this is, in my honest opinion, the amount of grind I've put in is worse than any MMO I've ever done.
Damn.
Because, first of all, MMOs are a little bit more forgiving than Elden Ring, which is you fuck up a single block and you're dead in Elden Ring. 9 out of 10 times. Whereas in World of Warcraft or whatever MMO you're playing, chances are you're going to get your ass whooped and take a lot of damage. But there's a chance you might see, a light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not like being resurrected back at the last save spot.
It's almost like an MMO. It's like after you put in like dozens or hundreds of hours, you get to like the in-game Savage Ultra XXL raid tier where you to get one-shotted. But that's like at the end of the game where you've had like all these hours of practice and building up. Whereas a game like Elden Ring, that's like level 1, you will die.
Well, I mean, like I said, I understand. There's, first of all, it's okay. So I've got quite a few, or just a couple issues with Elden Ring, but at the same time, look, it is a Souls game. Okay, you're gonna take your lumps. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. It's me who fucks up, and unfortunately, in my honest opinion, the penalty is way too fucking high when I mess up. Look, in this time that I was playing Elden Ring, I also played a game called Metroid Dread. I played through the entire game. I died more than 50 times. Okay, easily more than 50 times, which is basically about the amount of deaths I've had in Elden Rings. However, I actually played through the entire fucking game. Okay, I went up against bosses and got my ass whooped and was able to jump right back in and try again. In Elden Rings, you have to basically rebuild your inventory in order to try again. So I had to kill all the wildlife again so I could get all their tiny bones so I could make the bone darts. And then I'd have to sell all of the random shit that I've been picking up along the way so that I could get enough currency to buy the throwing knives so that I'd have some ranged attack when the first big boss, I think it's Magritte or whatever, decides to just wail on me. And yes, I'm not dumb. I chose the PvP help where a character can leave their little mark there and you can have their character join in on the fun. And yes, I used the spirit bell so I had like ghost allies. So it really was me, 4 ghost wolves, and a sorcerer. So that's 6 individuals against the boss, and wiped. I think I've wiped 6 times against that boss, and it's just at some point I'd rather play a game where it's going to be difficult, and I'm going to have to try again and again and again. Metroid Dread, but I feel like I've accomplished something.
Well, that's kind of like Bloodborne. Like, I liked it, but at the same time, that also really frustrated me. Where, kind of to your point, you would like clear a bunch of mobs, get too or close to the boss, you die, and you go back in time like a half hour. And it just became these defeating the same, initial group of mobs over and over, just get to the next part to basically learn the next phase in the trial, die again, and then keep on getting back to the same points. And I feel like, some people are really good at these type of games. Like they just have that, they're on Adderall and they got Twitch skills and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, that's just frustrating and tedious to basically build up to that same point every single time. Like, even if you're going to do that, I sometimes wish there was almost like a practice mode where like it doesn't count towards anything. Like I don't get loot or anything, but I just like practice dodging this boss a couple of times just so I know what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. So that exact process you're talking about infuriates me.
Well, I
Some
think
people like it, but that's great. There's different video games for different type of gamers. Obviously, the Souls genre has a huge following, and I think to your point, what's huge though is what they do it well in regards to it's your own fault that you died. You know why you did, and people get really good at that, and they learn from it if they want to, or they spend the time on it. But I know, like for me, those games are not the games I'm unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, looking for. I'm more into kind of like you said, like the MMOs like Final Fantasy 14, or I've been playing Lost Ark, where I'm a crazy badass sorceress who has giant explosions and kills 20 enemies at once without even thinking about it. That's kind of how I like to roll.
I do also want to point out that during my struggles with Elden Rings, because I've had to take breaks because I've just been getting frustrated, I have successfully beaten Pokemon Legends, Arceus. I've also beaten Metroid Dread. I've also beaten a game called Backbone. I just beat a game called damn it, the Coma Remix. No, not remix. The Recut, which is a fucked up game. And I've almost beaten Detroit Becoming Human, which of course is the game by Quantic Dream. Have I fucked up or messed up in those games? Have I died a lot? So Detroit Becoming Human. If one of your characters dies, the story continues. So that one's you can take that one off the table. But the rest of them, oh my god, I've died a lot of times. But I've been able. I think for me, it's that in the vast majority of the games that I've been playing recently, with the exception of Elden Ring, if I mess up, and it could be, I missed a counter or I missed a block or something, I could jump right back in. Okay, the muscle memory is still there. Whereas in Elden Ring, I have to spend 2 hours doing, shit that I can basically one hit kill everything to get back to a boss that I basically have to like 47 hit to kill and not mess up.
Yep. No, I agree. Yeah, that's yes. Yep. I'm totally on board with you. It's like, and I think to your point, like in Bloodborne, if those save points had been closer to the boss, then I would have probably been like, okay, I don't mind it as much. But you're right. When it can be so far away sometimes, that's the part I'm just like, oh, I don't feel like going through that whole slog of enemies or grinding, whatever it is, just to get back to that point again.
I will tell you though, the vast majority of the games that I have I've just completed or about to complete, I have gained a new love and respect for the save point, because holy crap, because in those games, having to go back just like 5-10 minutes is brutal.
Yeah.
Because you could have had, for like in Metroid, you may have had to basically zigzag your way across 3 different areas to get to where you needed to go to get your next power up.
Well, I think I also get spoiled by like RPGs, like for instance, like Mass Effect, where you can save like every 18 seconds. And like, oh, I'm doing a boss fight. Either A, it'll auto save for you as you enter the fight, or B, you can kind of tell like, oh, I'm at a fight. I'm going to save so I can just respawn there.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Ooh, speaking of RPGs, I went back and picked up, I don't have my Switch on me, but there's a game that is like, it's exactly Diablo, but if it was like origami and set paths. I think it's called like Deathmark or something. I could be wrong, but it's on the Switch.
It's not.
I can't remember what it is.
There's one I played on the Switch. It's like Paper RPG or something.
You played it. I played it, but I repicked it up, and I'm having.
It's the same game. It's that game. Yeah.
Yeah. I needed an outlet the other night. I was just like, I'm just gonna reinstall this to see what happens, and I'm like, this is good.
No, it's a good. Yes, I liked it. What is it? I remember. It's on my Switch. I'll have to look.
Yeah, I'll have to look as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's pause for a second to do friends of the show. These, of course, are these amazing individuals who help Ultra Confusion keep the lights on, literally, and help us to continue to do conventions and whatnot. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the game industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTER.com. And of course, the next big fan and supporter of the show has to be Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And then, friend of the show, an amazing individual. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ever in need of a chiropractor, this is your man. This, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone has a hero. Everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. If you want more information, go to herochiropractic.com. gmail.com. Now, of course, the last friend of the show that we got to talk about is the amazing individual who has given us the new intro and outro. That, of course, would be Crustpad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. Crustpad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, as you all know, there is something that Zealeus and I are excited about every single year, because this would be the 11th straight year, and that is that Altered Confusion will once again be participating and fundraising for Extra Life. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. Zealeus.
Yo.
Real quick, are you donning a fedora or a Stetson? The world has to know.
It's a Stetson.
It's a Stetson, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just in case.
Stetson from I remember where, but it's a used store down at Little 5 Points.
Aha, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you may have noticed that there were friends of the show, and you too can become a friend of the show, because Altered Confusion survives on love and support of fans like you, and that is why we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, fans, supporters, lovers, haters, friends, socially awkward individuals, demons, extraterrestrial beings, interdimensional beings, demigods, gods, and a whole lot more, to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and stability we need to build an even stronger brand. Currently, for Altered Confusion, there are 2 different subscription tiers. There's a $1 tier, which is $1 a month or $12 a year, which allows you early access to all of our playthroughs and patron-only posts and polls to help shape the future of Altered Confusion. If you want to take it a step up for the $5 a month or $60 a year tier, not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization in every single Thursday night hangout in the Friends of the Show section. So, if you want to help out Altered Confusion, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/Altered Confusion and be a patron today. Yeah. Now, perhaps you are not one of those individuals who want to subscribe to us, but you want to give something to Altered Confusion physically to show off on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in luck. You can always mail something to Altered Confusion for us to highlight on our show by mailing it to 1551 Dunwoody Village. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. This is super duper important. Number 88276. This is the P.O. Box number. If you do not put that number, it does not get there. And even sometimes when it is there, the post office decides to be a bunch of dicks and doesn't recognize it. But anyways, number 88276. The city, once again, is Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY, Georgia 30338. And I added the last bit because I personally sent something to my P.O. Box number, which had my P.O. Box number on it, and it got sent back because it said could not deliver to address. Well, dipshit, it was at the actual post office where my P.O. Box was located, and I quadruple checked when I mailed it to myself through a purchasing website to make sure that number 88276 was there, and I know for a fact it was. And guess what? When it got sent back, it was re-released into the wild, and it was one of those exclusive items that went, and so I didn't get it. So thanks a lot, United States Postal Service.
What?
Yes.
That's not cool, man.
No, it's not cool. It's not cool at all.
I'm sad for you.
I'm sad for myself. What can I say?
So what happens now?
What do you mean? I got a reimbursement on that purchase.
Okay, that's what I meant. I didn't know if like you decided to like go chase it down, hire like a private investigator.
Oh no, I reached out to the person like, oh my gosh, we are so sorry, but we've already promised that product to another once it returned back to us. Like, you son of a bitch.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yes, every single additional layer that the United States Postal Service tries to dick me over with moves me so much closer to moving my P.O. box to like a UPS store. Because I'm getting really sick of it.
Real house and send you surprise skunks.
Huh?
Huh?
What did you say? Surprise skunks?
To your real house, yes.
No, I don't.
You sure?
There was an
Something
incident.
for your kids to play with.
There was an incident revolving around when Ultra Confusion was attached to my real address, so we don't use my real address anymore.
No, on the internet, that actually makes sense. I totally get it.
So yeah. Anywho. So, as I alluded to earlier in the show, or I've alluded to several times, I've been playing a shit ton of games, and I've been beating them, and I've been trying to write reviews for them. So be on the lookout for a shit ton of reviews coming out.
Nice. What's your favorite of the batch?
Ooh. See, now that's complicated. I would say, okay, so like I said, I played, what is 742 Evergreen Trace, Dunwoody, Georgia?
Terrace.
Is that your address, Zealeus?
It's not mine.
I don't know who that is. Zealeus will look it up. Anyways, so I've played the Pokemon game was actually really entertaining. The game Backbone was. Oh, I never actually. Fuck! I forgot to actually post the review. It's up, but I haven't actually published it. I think it would have been better as a show. It fell flat. Oh, I'm sorry. You threw out Dunwoody, Georgia, and it threw me off. Thanks a lot, Sam.
I'm gonna lie. I haven't actually watched The Simpsons
since they were part of the Tracy Ullman show.
I just haven't watched Simpsons in forever. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'll catch it once in a while. I mean, I'm not a diehard fan. To be honest with you, I don't think there's a show out there that I have with that type of like stay power that the Simpsons have that I've really watched from start to end. Let's see. Like the closest I could think of is I've watched every single episode of Lost. I've watched every single episode of Star Trek Next Generation.
Yep. Nope.
I've
watched every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel.
That for me was I just kind of spot checked that one. Those two. I've never watched an episode of Dollhouse.
I've watched all of House MD.
Ooh.
Oh, I know. I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy.
I may have watched a couple episodes of Grey's Anatomy. I've watched almost every single episode of House, except for like the last couple seasons.
Grey's is one of the House definitely went downhill. But Grey's is one of the show where like when the season comes out on Netflix, I still binge the hell out of it. It's so trash and terrible, but it has a special place in my heart.
Zealeus loves the mindless trash show just to break up the monotony of his day.
Buffy, or not Buffy, Vampire Diaries and what's the spinoff of Vampire Diaries?
The originals.
Yeah.
Why do I know that? I've never even watched either of those shows.
And I've watched.
Why the hell do I know that?
Probably the worst one was. Oh, I can't remember what it's called now because it's not Netflix. It's like about 4 young teenagers, and like one of their friends gets killed by Q, and so
Pretty Little Liars. Why do I know this shit?
yes, Pretty Little Liars.
What the fuck is going on? I've never watched that either.
But it became like I can at least tolerate the vampire ones because like each season was like at least a different big bad that changed. So it was like it varied up some versus Pretty Little Liars. You knew you had this killer. It like the end of like every season from like 2 on was like, we're gonna tell you who the killer is. It's giant tease every single season. That's what gets to me. I can't take that. It's kind of like what the mashup of all the Disney fairy tales.
The matchup of
that
all
had the actress from House, ironically.
Once Upon a Time.
What? Yeah, Once Upon a Time. Same thing. Like they kept on teasing like Mr. Gold's redemption. And then like he'd get dicked over again by something. I'm like, nope, I'm done. Like at some point you have to have some kind of to me, like when you have like those tragic characters, when they're obviously trying to redeem them, at some point you have to have some kind of cathartic release for me.
Mm-hmm.
Even in House, I mean, like every once in a while something good would happen. I know it's few and far between. It's usually his own fault. He screwed it up.
Can I give a huge spoiler about House?
Yeah, at this point, yes.
It's never lupus.
Except for the one time it was.
Which everyone's going, oh my God.
So at least like there's those moments of House where it happened. And Once Upon a Time, it almost would get there, and then like some stupid outside force would reset the world again. I'm just like, nope, I'm done with you.
Do you think you'll watch the Halo TV show? In all honesty, anybody interested in the Paramount TV streaming service for Halo?
See, again, for me, so that's the pros and cons of streaming services. It's like I have Netflix and Amazon Prime, and I'm not going to go out of my way. The closest I'd go out of my way to subscribe to is honestly Disney Plus. But outside of that, I'm not kind of going out of my way to subscribe to something where, say, 10, 15 years ago, when everything was like on cable and we all had our DVRs, in that case, probably yes. When the Halo was coming out, I would have set my DVR to record that to check it out because I knew I could like set my thing to record it. But now, because it's on a different streaming service I don't have, I'm just like, man, I'll maybe check it out in a couple of years. And maybe that's a pro and con because like when it was back in the day with a DVR, for instance, we didn't know necessarily that we'd be able to just kind of binge it 10 years from now, right? We didn't kind of know that one day we would have the streaming service where you could just kind of go and watch it at your leisure. Whereas now I know something like Halo or hell, Disney Plus stuff, I know that at any moment, like come spring break, you know what? Maybe I could call up Disney Plus and just spend 7 days killing my brain cells and watching nothing but Disney Plus.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, it, see, here's the thing. It's a lot cheaper than buying the Blu-ray set for the season. And the other thing is that, most I'm going to put it in parentheses here, most streaming services that are still, mainly from, the big bad cable companies, they understand how to allow for subscriptions to let people binge an entire season of, say, Resident Alien on Sci-Fi, which is funny as hell, by the way, or for Disney Plus,
Yep.
to do like The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett or any of the other shows that they've got on there. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and think about it. It's like the price of a month of any of the subscription services would basically been the cost of like one season of a television series on DVD format.
Yep.
So from that cost perspective, I mean, think about back in the day, when we were kind of in that generation where you would go to a friend's house and it was not uncommon to see like the entire season of DVDs of like Friends was one, Seinfeld was one. Depending on the gender, stereotyping here, but Gilmore Girls was very popular among the girls.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek. Among my brothers, because he was older, would have been 90210 was huge.
The OC.
The OC was right around our generation. That was kind of
no. My sisters owned the entire.
I remember I was a freshman. I think I was a freshman in college when that came out, if I remember right.
I don't know.
And that that was binge worthy, man. That first season of the OC was like the most properly distilled, angsty teenager mashup of like Dawson's Creek, 90210, like all that crap thrown into one glorious season of just teenage thrown all together.
Sorry, I was already binge watching Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star, Record of Lost Wars, both of them. I had already moved on to my heavy anime days.
Yes, this is a fair statement. Yes, you did.
And I still have all of my anime DVDs. Thank you very much.
Now, back in that day, for like something like, say, the OC, in order to watch it, there may or may not have been really only one proper recourse to have binge watch those back in that era of the internet.
My sister made a point, especially during the OC time, to purchase and own a TiVo.
Oh, yeah. That is not what I was referring to, but yes, the TiVo is actually so for those who actually don't know what a TiVo is basically a TiVo was a very fancy DVR before they became kind of mainstream. It was kind of almost bridged the gap between you had to sit at your TV at 7:00 to watch Law and Order because that's when it came on exactly, really between what we have now with the video streaming services. It kind of really got that gap. It was.
I had a streaming card in my my desktop that I would set up to just record shows and put them on my TV. Now,
I got one. I don't know if I really ever got it working though. I remember I got one with that in mind.
It was a Pinnacle, just in case, just to show you how old I was or how old I am. But ironically, I never really used it to record TV shows. I only used it to record something every, I think it was Friday night or Thursday night. I'm trying to remember now. I think it was Friday night. And that was a radio show that was put on a TV, on a campus-wide TV channel for WINR radio in Rock Hill, South Carolina, because it was my radio show. And that was the only way to record it, was to capture on my PC. And then when I got from doing the radio show, I'd come back, I'd rip the video, and I'd split the audio and video and just save the audio and then burn it to CDs. And my sister, my little sister, the other day gave me like a stack of the CDs of the show.
You should release those all on iTunes.
The Hawk and Germ Show. Dude, do you know how many freaking music things that have to sign
nowadays? Yeah, never mind.
Oh my! Well, I mean, for better or for worse, it really that entire year or whatever of doing that live show, I think we probably played like 40 or 50 different songs. We just kept playing the same things and doing have like random talks. I mean, because it was a college radio show.
Yeah.
Oh, totally off topic because that's what we do. But like I said, I was playing like that Diablo origami looking game for the Switch. But another game that I decided to play because this one was actually installed on my Twitch, and my wife was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, I need something to unwind, and that of course is Transistor.
Ooh.
And oh man, I love me some Supergiant games. I don't know what I love the games. I love the soundtrack. I own them all, and
I get that, man.
I am not afraid to admit that.
There's no shame in some Giant Bomb games, sir.
Supergiant games.
Same thing.
Nope. Giant Bombs is the website that gave me a temporary 4-month ban because I was linking my reviews back to my website.
How dare you?
I was like, oh, okay. Also, they also gave me a ban for they were building a wiki, and I took information about developers from their wiki page and posted it in their wiki because it was their date of birth and where they lived and their first game. And the only place to find it was on wikipedia.org, and apparently because of that, I was like, you got to do original content. I'm like, I can't if you're trying to build a wiki about a famous person, you can't just start coming up with bullshit. That doesn't make it. I mean, if you want a gossip page, yeah, sure, I could do that.
I can do what I want, man.
Anyways, real quick, just for those who are wondering, what was the start number here? Okay, so when we started the show, Brandon Sanderson's number was 27,064,495, and as we're closing the show, it's $27,097,895.
It's crazy.
Oh, sorry. It's now 27,099,000. It's about, God damn it, it's about to go over 100,000. Okay, there it goes. Now it's spiraling out of control again. Anyways, if you're a Brandon Sanderson fan or a huge RPG sci-fi fantasy type of reader, then you're probably going to want to get in on this Zealeus.
I know.
All right, but ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we've reached the end of the show. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything to come our heads. Mouse, and of course, so we'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.